So there's sort of two ways that you can approach a case that you're dealing with. And as a general rule, attorneys are engaged in the art of persuasion and the use of the system to advantage their clients. They get paid for results. I mean, they get paid anyway, even if the results are bad, but they get paid for results. They get paid for their efforts. So an attorney goes in, you want to pay this amount in child support. You want to divide the house and get this amount of money. You want to have this amount of time with your kids. The attorney goes in there with the facts and the law, and they try to persuade the court, one person up on the bench, because you don't get jury trials for family law cases. And you try to convince that person regarding your position. And so there's sort of an understanding that from a historical perspective, what you're doing is really just trying to create perceptions. And the truth is not the most important thing. The most important thing is the result in creating the perceptions and persuading people to adopt your result. This is very different from a discussion in which the truth is the object. It is simply not true that the purpose of court proceedings, and in fact, most political discussions, are attempting to ascertain the truth. What they are is really just mostly a bunch of food fights. I can't think of a better example than the presidential election. If you just look at the way that people talk, they're not discussing things. They're not saying, hey, I believe this. That's a good point. I believe that. Why do you believe that? Well, let's check that out. Let's refer to another source. Oh, that's an interesting point. There's a very big difference between a discussion where you're trying to ascertain the truth and an argument in which you're trying to persuade people. In courts of law, politics, and in general, the way that people operate, they're not really interested in discussions. They're interested in simply trying to impose their will upon people and often using dishonesty to be able to do that. And so one of the fundamental aspects of that dynamic is that you end up with a lot of lies being told, a lot of misrepresentations, half-truths, and without the ability to be able to sit down and go through it all, sometimes lies get past people. And they often do. And those lies can get past me. They can get past you. The real question is, are you committed to a process in which you're actually involved in an intellectually rigorous process? That's the fundamental question. And you have to ask yourself that.